Sounds good, but can sound better. Needs an exhaust. I am really messing with these new gauges recently. I changed them. They give me all the information I want to see. So my car's a mess. So first things first, we got to fix that. Also, I stepped outside for maybe 20 minutes and now my allergies are attacking me. It is so bad. I've never had allergies this bad before. So just to preface, it's really bad. But as I was saying earlier, my car is really dirty, so we're gonna go clean that up inside and out because I hate a dirty car, especially if it's my car, and it's pretty bad right now. But don't worry, that's not what the video is about. I'm going to tell you guys the main reasons on why I think the B9.5 S4 is a much better choice for a daily driver than the M340i. Now granted, I did make a YouTube video talking about why this car is the perfect daily, and I did kind of touch on some points on, you know, what makes this car better than M340, but I wanted to go more on like a one-on-one comparison and talk about a couple specific points on where I think the S4 beats the M340 in the daily driver area and why I chose the S4 over the M340.
2,000 years later.
Okay, 0 out of 10 would recommend if you have allergies and it's a windy day. My hair is now probably crazy. My allergies are absolutely no better. And also what I will say is these quick quack car washes that have these kind of stations that just don't have the stalls but just have vacuums, they suck. They don't have any of the other supplies that the newer quick quack car washes have. So it makes it a lot harder to wash your car. So if you're gonna go wash the inside of your car, Quick Quack or whatever nearby car wash you have, make sure they have actual stalls that have more than one type of vacuum, because then you're just stuck using one big vacuum that kind of doesn't do a good job to clean your car. That being said, my car does look a lot better now. It might be hard to tell. It's still pretty freaking messy. But I mean, the carpets are what I was really aiming for, and some dusting, so that's all good. The only reason why I even chose this Quick Quack car wash instead of other new ones that are actually in my area is simply because the car wash that I go to for the outside of my car, which is a touchless car wash, which you guys should definitely be doing for your cars, especially if it's a newer car, is literally like 2 feet away. So I just made it convenient for myself distance wise. I didn't want to be driving across town just to wash my car. Alright, now with the car all washed, let's talk about the main point behind this video. But I want to quickly first start off by saying I don't have brand loyalty. I'm not an Audi only car person. I literally love BMWs and Mercedes. I love, honestly, all German cars, and of course American cars too, but I'm a big German car person. So I just wanted to start off by saying I'm not strictly an Audi person. So my take on Audi being better than an M340 isn't simply because I just love Audis no matter what, and I think they're just the superior brand. To add to that point, BMW makes much more driver-oriented cars. I think their cars are much more based on strictly the performance and the driver, which I will be going over why that makes it not as good of a daily driver. I think the first and one of the biggest points would be price. I don't know where all the M340 hype came from. I think it probably has something to do with their big turbo capabilities, but because of all the hype, that has driven the price way up. You're gonna end up spending a couple $1,000s more on a same mileage BMW M340 over an S4. So I think that would be the main point number one, is simply just that an S4 is gonna be cheaper than an M340. Now I will be going over the good things on why an S4 is better, but also I'm going to go over some of the things that the M340 does outperform the S4 on. Because with that price increase, you do also get some added benefits. The thing is that those added benefits, in my opinion, don't make it better than an Audi S4. And this is strictly only as a daily driver, because most of the time people are going to have these cars as a daily driver. So point number one is pretty cut and clear. A BMW M340 is going to be a little bit more expensive. But now on to the second point, which is going to be styling. Now the styling is also kind of going to feed into the spec portion as well, because I think that the specs that the Audi S4 offer are just a little better than the M340. Now, of course, this is also purely subjective. This is one of my reasons on why I believe the S4 to be better than an M340, but there will be plenty of other reasons that I will name that are less subjective and more factual too. But the M340 doesn't have such an amazing spec like the S4 does. I mean, the Quantum Gray, I think, looks better than any exterior color that BMW offers. I think Audi did a perfect job blacking out the car in the right places. Of course, this has the black optics package, which definitely helps with that. But I mean, even its side profile, I prefer over the M340. Now, this is not to say that the M340 is a bad or ugly looking car. I personally think the M340 is actually a really, really good looking car. I just prefer the S4 better. I'm not really sure what it is, but I've always been drawn to the styling of the S4 a little more than an M2 or M340i. The wind is getting pretty crazy, so I have to go inside the car pretty soon. But one thing I want to talk about before I get back in there, the spec options. One thing I cannot do is black interior. Well, I mean, I can do it, I just really prefer not to. And a little bit of red stitching, honestly, doesn't cut it for me. And believe it or not, that's actually one of the reasons why I didn't even think about getting an RS3, was because they just had black seats. So point number 2 is just that the colorways that the S4 offers, with the red interior looking so much better than BMW's interior. Even styling too, the diamond stitch seats, it just looks so much better. Point number 3 is going to be how comfortable it is. And I think even BMW drivers aren't really going to argue this, at least the open and honest ones. Like I said earlier, BMW is much more performance oriented. That means as a daily driver, you're not going to be as comfortable. These seats offer perfect adjustable bolstering, which you can get quite comfy in. And they also have massaging capabilities. And I honestly use the massaging seats quite often. They're really nice. But sitting in the Audi isn't the only thing that's going to be comfier. Driving it on the road is going to be much smoother. The suspension on the BMW is going to be a lot stiffer for cornering purposes. You're going to feel that every single day. And like I said earlier, ask BMW owners or just look it up. They say it themselves. The Audi simply overperforms the BMW when it comes to comfortability, driving, and sitting wise. Now, I'm 6'2", and there is plenty of headroom for me. I'm comfortable in the front and in the back. I've sat in the back for a couple hours at a time. I've had absolutely no issue. On to the topic of drivetrain, I want to bring up, of course, Quattro. Quattro, as we all know, is going to outperform BMW xDrive. That means in states where it's raining or snowing a lot, the Audi is going to outperform, even performance-wise, a BMW M340i from a dig. Now, I live in California where we don't get that much snow or rain here. But if I lived in a state where there was a lot of snow or rain, I wouldn't even hesitate pulling the trigger on an Audi S4 over the M340 any day of the week. It's going to be so much more confident on the road with Quattro versus xDrive. Remember, Quattro comes standard on all Audis. So if you're living in a state that has lots of rain or snow, you're gonna have to go for a BMW that has the xDrive option added to it. With Audi, you don't have to do that. It's gonna have Quattro and it's gonna be better than xDrive regardless. That's gonna give you so much more confidence on the road. As a daily driver, you won't be losing traction. You're gonna have more stability in corners and straight line speed. It's just gonna be so much more stable and the better choice as a daily driver. And I think on top of that, people still forget that you can have fun in a Quattro car in the rain and in the snow. This car has plenty of power to do all the drifting fun stuff. Of course, it won't be better than a rear-wheel drive car, but it can still do it. Something a lot of people also might not know is how reliable the B9 really is, especially the B9.5. People might think, oh, but the M340, the B58, it's so reliable. The Audi could never match its reliability. But honestly, it has, and it did. The EA 839, which is Audi's engine that they put in the B9 models, the earlier generations of the B9 did have a rocker arm issue that the B9.5 fully resolved. Of course, this car isn't perfect. There's still going to be some minor issues that just happen, but you cannot make the argument that the B58 is going to be substantially more reliable than the B9.5. You just can't make that argument because it's not. So just to summarize some of these points I've mentioned, you're getting a better looking car with better handling in the rain and the snow that looks better inside and out, offers massaging seats, very beautiful red interior, all for a cheaper price. Those for me are the points that won the Audi S4 over as a daily driver than the M340. Now, of course, there are ways in which the M340 does outperform the S4. And some of these reasons are and might be good enough for you to want the BMW over the Audi. And that's honestly fine. One of those points, of course, is going to be performance. Mod for mod is going to be just a little bit quicker every time. And the big turbo capabilities of the B58 are pretty much through the roof. I mean, it's kind of crazy and insane how much they can push that B58. I do want to mention though, that of course the B9.5 can handle plenty of big turbo things as well. So for me, the real deciding factor performance-wise for an M340i would be literally just the cornering capabilities of the M340. It's going to feel a little better, a little stiffer, more performance oriented on your day-to-day drive than the S4. And if you're really searching for just the peak performance that the car can give you for that price, then the M340 is going to win. But a lot of people don't know how much aftermarket tuning, support, and potential the Audi has. I mean, it's really, really good. So circling back, in general, I just didn't feel like the BMW M340i was gonna provide such a bigger difference in performance on my day-to-day drive over the Audi, when the Audi is just gonna be right behind it just a little bit every time, but it's gonna overperform on stability, comfort, and just how it looks. And so in my personal opinion, the Audi wins on the better daily driver. And I think people forget that these are turbo cars. With an intake, you can get induction noises all day long. I mean, the car sounds so good. So really, what I think it boils down to is what you're looking for in your daily driver. If you think you're gonna benefit from all the things that I mentioned earlier, the Audi surpasses the BMW on, then the S4 would be the right choice for you. If you're strictly looking for performance and you don't care about how it feels to have that performance, then the BMW is gonna be the right choice for you. But there's really no wrong answer. I think a lot of people don't understand what they're missing out on by going with the M340 just because of all the hype that it has around it. I think people are buying M340s without doing the research and missing out on a lot of the things that Audi offers that BMW doesn't, that's gonna make it a much more comfortable daily driver. They just want a car that's hyped, and that's honestly fine. But to me, after doing the research, I went with the S4 and I have no regrets. With that being said, I definitely want to own a BMW. I think if I were to ever get a different car, my next car would definitely be a BMW. I mean, I really want to own one. Like I said earlier, I'm not a hater for BMW. I literally love BMW and Mercedes, Audis, all the same. But for the S4 versus the M340i, I think it's just hard to argue the points that I made earlier on why the S4 is better. I think some of those points are purely just factual, and a lot of people aren't benefiting from the M340 in a way that they could with the S4. So I just thought I'd make a video just going over some of those points and kind of educate people on what they might be missing out, and just helping out anyone who might be looking to make a decision. I hope you guys found the video informative. If you thought it was helpful, consider subscribing. I'm gonna make a bunch of content with this car. Leave a like, let me know what you thought down below, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. As always, peace.